Hi friends, this is Kris with Josephine's Designs. This is just a quick update. We are home. We got home late Tuesday night. Today's Thursday. I have done light unpacking because evidently all the packing I was doing was causing just some problems. And then just the trip itself was was long. I'm just going to put it like that. But we're home. I'm so grateful. There's a lot to do here. My husband was able to get the trailer returned today, and they got everything unloaded late last night. I can't lift over maybe 5 pounds. If I go anything over that, I have some pretty severe results. And then I spent all day yesterday and today with my local gastro's office, an appointment that ended up being online, which was just I'm so grateful. And then I'm now being referred to wound care, and then there'll be more tests and an endoscopy, colonoscopy, of course, and then other doctors that I'll have to go see. So, but I'm grateful I'm here. The kids just aren't making it. I have everything set up for October and November in that they're already, everything's been, what am I trying to say, cultivated, put together. I just have to cut and put together. So please give me through this weekend. I am in a sea of boxes. Yeah, we packed with boxes because we were pulling a truck. We were in a truck pulling a trailer, and I can't lift the boxes. I have to unpack at some point. I have an overnight kit unpacked and the travel bag. That's it. And then I had to take care of some food things, and because we had a full kitchen, we still have a full set of things to unpack from that besides our clothes. And yeah, and we came home to having to attend to some things. We've been gone for 3 months, so and we haven't even begun to tip the, what is it, tip the bucket or whatever. I don't know. I just feel like it's going to be huge. So my husband and I are both just extremely fatigued and tired, but we're grateful. And on the way home, we stopped at the bee. At the bee. So we love that. That's just if y'all are familiar with Buc-ee's in Texas, it's a smaller version in Florida. And we were in an area that had been hit really hard by the hurricane. And the young man who checked me out said that they had lost all their electricity. And we were in a sea of electrical trucks coming out of central and southern Florida, going north to help all the other states. So my prayers are with North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, and of course those in Florida. And we saw a lot as we traveled I-10 on the way home, which wasn't even at the worst of it, in the Florida area. And so, we were just in shock. I mean, trees, of course, had snapped, but we saw trees that had bent, that had no way have I ever seen a tree bent like that. And trees that had broken off and were like arrows shot into another tree. And you see it like top first, but we saw them bottom first. I mean, those winds must have been crazy. And I mean, we had wind and rain, but nothing compared to the others. So our heart just aches for those that are going through this. And as many of you old timers here know, when I was a little girl, we lost our house to a hurricane. And I remember, I was old enough, I remember all of it. And I have friends that are terrified of hurricanes, and the hurricane wasn't as much problem for us as it was the tornadoes that come out of hurricanes. So you have flooding, you have high winds, you have tornadoes, you have all kinds of issues, guys. And so please be in prayer, support where you can. Love those that are in crisis, because this is so, what a devastating storm. I think my husband and we were talking last night. He was reading, this is the second most devastating storm in the United States after Katrina. I just, uh, I literally can remember when every, news news story, every phone call, every, we had one wall standing. I get it. I mean, I get it. And I was a little girl worried about my little turtles, and my little turtles had, of course, they were long gone, and our cat was up in an attic and went crazy, and in the garage somehow the neighbors got it in the garage. We weren't home, and it just went stir crazy, and it never was the same. I mean, it really was never the same, and just really it had adversely affected that cat, and because neighbors were taking care of our house and animal, our cat and things like that, but because we were out visiting my grandmother and great grandmother at the time. So I can't imagine the loss right now, the people that have lost loved ones or people that are injured. Please, please, please be in prayer. We as believers, we are there. We are to stand the gap. We are to love and pray for those that are in need. So please consider that. On the way through Florida, we had stopped to get some gas, and my husband wanted a cup of coffee, and so he ran into the little, I think it was a Flying J or something. He liked their coffee. They fresh ground it and all that kind of stuff, which it was a truck stop. I was like, wow, how fancy. But, and of course, I can't do caffeine, so anymore for life. But sorry, I'm having a hard time holding this. Forgive me. I'm still really tired. But this gentleman came up and asked for help, and we were just like, yes, of course. And it wasn't what you would think, because I'm sure you're all going, well, wait a minute, you shouldn't have done that. So my husband went in and paid for gas for this gentleman for his vehicle. He was pulling his camper, and my husband just said, of course. And we walked right in, and he came and got me, and I was like, not cash, I mean, I didn't say that, but that was what was going off in my brain, because we used to live in an area where there was a lot of people that were without homes, and they would take the cash, and at the end of the day, there was a liquor store close by, and because we lived right there, almost 40 years ago, we knew what the outcome was, and so we always try to give gift cards and things like that. And so when my husband went in and paid, he turned around and he said, he took the receipt and he took it to the man, and he said, every time you look at this receipt, just know that God loves you. And the man was really grateful and said, God bless you. And I looked at him and said, there, but by the grace of God, we have been there many times, without enough money to pay the bills or enough money to get gasoline or whatever. And I've scraped the pennies, nickels, and dimes to buy gas before. I'm sure you guys all have at times too. And so I was really, if I had been thinking I was in that car and I was in a lot of pain, I would have told him, go in and buy him a sandwich and maybe a soda or water. But we just, afterwards, it was hindsight, it's 20. But I have a stack of tracts that I carry, and he just kind of did this on his own, and I just left him alone. He did it his way, and he did a great job. And when those opportunities present to you right now, and somebody who's in need, I just pray right now that you'll take that time and love those that are around you, that need that support, that need that encouragement. God gives us opportunities that we'll never understand. And, my husband always fusses at me and said, there's not a person you don't meet that's not your friend, kind of thing. And I always just tell him, because this is my one and only opportunity sometimes. And just to tell you how amazing God works, yesterday I was calling my gastro's nurse to get this referral for all this things I have to have done. And I got my retired gastro's triage nurse, who I adore, and we became the best of friends. And she was like, hold on, let me look. And we were just catching up, and she was reading my files. She was giving me, because she's had incredible health, I hate to say it, she's ahead of me in a rough journey that I seem to be following in some ways. And hers has been just crazy. Like, mine's been crazy, but hers has been like, anyways. But she was just like, here's this, here's that, let's meet for a cup of coffee. And I was like, yes. And, and I just started telling her, I said, this is so, because she said her name, can you hold please? And I said, of course. And then she came back on. I said, is this Dr. So-and-so's triage nurse? She goes, yes. Is this, and I was like, yes. So God just works in amazing ways that we don't know. And all those years of trying to love her as she was caring for me, and then she was the one yesterday helping me by God's grace. So this ended up being a longer, quick message, but I just want to tell you the goodness of God. I'll be back soon. The rest of this week is going to get really crazy with medical stuff. I think the rest of the month is going to get crazy. But it's okay. God's in control. And right now, since I have a more new to me gastro than my one who I've adored and loved all those years, because he retired, and I know he's a good gastro. My old gastro would have never referred me. They were just like, we're on a long journey right now. And I just said, I know, when I had the appointment yesterday. And so, she started giving me the first 3 or 4 steps. This is the PA. And I recognized that I haven't even seen the gastro yet, though he'd already been in there putting notes on all my chart according to this triage nurse friend. So, I was just like, wow, God is so good. And then his nurse was having to take care of all the paperwork end of it. And she was telling me, oh no, Dr. So-and-so's been all in your file. There are notes everywhere. And I said, yeah, I figured that was happening. So, we just never know, and we aren't kind to people and love people because we want to get something out of it. But then God blesses us, 15 years later, literally 15 years later. And these people just step up and they love you and they encourage you and they take care of you. And when we have that opportunity to do that for them, we should always do that. And I was telling my friend yesterday, I said, my arms are out and I'm air hugging you right now. And when I come in the office, I'm going to hug you. And she's like, well, I'm working from home. And I'm like, good. You should be. After all this health issues, that's exactly where you need to be. And because she's so good at her job. She's just so good at her job. So, we never know. So when this man walked up to my husband, of course. And, we know Scripture tells us we never know when there are going to be angels amongst us that, we can be helping. So let's focus on helping those in need. And we're just flat out told in Scripture to help those in need. And we need to. And what did Jesus do? Jesus sat with the unwanted, the unloved, the ostracized. He reached out. It doesn't matter. I mean, be safe, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I found myself, I'm weak. I'm not, like when you're younger, you're healthier, you feel like, if anybody tries to do anything, I'm fine, kind of thing. Not anymore. Hold on, my husband's coming in. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry guys. My husband was coming up to get his phone. They're having a lot of changes at work, so people will be laid off, I'm sure. And hopefully by God's grace that God will protect us for the few more years until retirement. So that's our prayer right now. And we definitely need the medical insurance. So, but his director has been very gracious and kind, and even wanted him to take off 2 weeks to take care of me at one point. And he'd work intermittently. He would check in every day and work every day. But it's a pretty cutthroat world, corporate world. And the people above him, his boss and his director, have been so kind. And he's always reported to directors this. It's been a while since he's, but his boss is an old friend and been so good to him. And then this director has just decided that, I think he's a lot like her husband, I think is the deal. So anyways, though he's a bit older. So it seems like she seems to be a very nice person and being very kind. And her husband has health issues, so she's understanding this right now, But just back to wherever we can serve, we need to serve. Wherever we can love, we need to love. And even when we don't feel good, my husband just kept saying, every person that walked in the door, you're so worried about, them, and you're sorry for being an inconvenience, And I was like, well, I do feel that way. I know they have worse patients. And he was like, you were in a critical care room. I was like, okay, well, I get it, but still, but it just, there's somebody worse out there. So, and once you get past a certain point and you're not so critical, you try not to be a burden. You try to do your best, and you try to encourage those. You try to encourage the nurses. And I told him when he said that, I said, what you forget is that because of that, I think those nurses were fiercely protective of me, less maybe 2 or 3. And he was like, well, that's true. And I said, and it wasn't that I did that because that's just who I am. In every hospital stay, and I said, because I know how hard their job is, And so, he just, he listened. I mean, he has a different way to doing things than I do. So, and that's okay. Um, but anyway, so, all right, we're home. Thank you, everybody, for praying. Thank you, everybody who is continuing to pray, sending gifts, being patient. I will be reaching out. Sorry, I'm just getting tired. I will be reaching out in the next 2 weeks when I know better what's going to go on. I want to get the kids out for fall. I want November to be a, every day of gratitude kind of faith journal. And that'll kind of be a semi Bible journaling camp kind of feel for a fall Bible journaling camp. And then I really want to get the October out. I have it all pulled. I had everything ordered, separated, situated. Sorry, I was hiccuping there. I cannot tell you how incredibly overwhelming it was to get ready and to get things packed and to get things out. And we're trying to figure out, going back next year. And we go back, it will be with a lot less. I mean, we just had no clue. We had no clue going there for 2 months. And I had planned to do all this work and nothing happened. And then all of y'all sent so many lovely gifts and so many beautiful things. And I, just as encouragements. And I want to tell you, I couldn't have made it without y'all and all your prayers and all of your encouragements and all of your kindnesses and your comments. And please leave a comment below. Tell me someone that you are loving and caring for, whether it's just someone you opened a door for at the grocery store or someone that you helped reach something from a high shelf. If you're like me, a low shelf, because I'm not that tall. But, tell me something that you're doing this month to show the love of Jesus, because I would sure love to hear it. And sometimes we don't even think about things that I do that you wouldn't think of doing, or that you do that I wouldn't think of doing. So sorry I'm shaking this, but sometimes we just forget simple things that we can do for others that show the love of Jesus, and that is a really important thing for us to do as believers. Sometimes it's just listening. Sometimes it's identifying with them and letting them know that you understand what they're going through. And sometimes it's just, just the simple things that we can do for others. And, I just can't say that enough. I just can't say that enough. So, yeah, I mean, I'd love to hear what you're doing, and let that be an encouragement to me as I go to another doctor's up in Austin tomorrow. I'm still doing daily wound care. They want me to see a specialist now for that. There may be a problem where there were some drains. I don't know. I know that's too much information. Sorry. So I still do have an open wound. I still do have daily wound care. I still do have all of that's going on. The surgeries still have to be, what am I trying to say? They have to be checked via endoscopy, and then the colonoscopy we'll just do because I'll be asleep, and we'll do that as well. And it's really hard for me because I really trusted my doctor who's retired. And after all of this, I am a little concerned. So I've had a really good doctor out of Florida, but I had some pretty bad ones. So I'm sure you can understand the concerns now. My husband is very concerned. But, sorry. But we know God's got a plan, and I trust Jesus. And, I never am concerned about going home because I know the Lord will take care of me. But I don't want any more bad health repercussions. And there are people that are even medical that don't understand the long haul of this. And yesterday I talked to 2 wound care nurses, and I may have another month or 2 of this. And it's just like, oh. But I'm not medical, but I don't know why the Lord has allowed this to happen. I pray to God I never have to do this for anybody else. This is not my thing. But it's a skill set, and I'm grateful for that. And I hope that I'm doing it correctly. So, anyways, it's been a crazy ride. So, but I'm excited to get this over tomorrow, and then we'll have the weekend, and I just need to get groceries here. We don't have hardly any food in the house other than things that were in the freezer, that kind of a thing. But we're almost out of, stuff for our coffee and teas, because I brought home some stuff in an ice chest, and a plug-in ice chest. So we've had that, and I had a big order coming from Walmart today, and then we had some stuff go on, and so just getting the basics done, I just can't tell you how exhausting it is. It's exhausting. So, but even my husband's exhausted right now, just from the journey and everything, and having to do all this stuff. And so it's been a journey. It's been a journey. And so, and he's come home to see that work is, just pray for them, Matter of fact, he's got a phone call now. That's what he came up, and, it's with somebody that's not going to end the way they want it to end. And, it's just a frustrating situation, and all these different things. I mean, I think she's going to be fine, but I think that it's not going to be what she wanted it to be. And, the disappointment is so much right now. The stress, the pressure. They're getting ready to change, the in-office like Amazon did and other companies are doing. So it's getting ready to change, and I think they're going to have a lot of people leave, and they're just not bringing people in, and so that just means more work. You know how this goes. So, but we're grateful. He has a great job that is taking care of all of this, and we're grateful that he has a director who has been very supportive of my health and the emergencies, and his boss as well has just been just a prince, and we are so grateful for him. And yeah, so all right, friends, I don't know who's honking up, friends, so I'll let you go. I pray the Lord blesses you and keeps you. Like, subscribe, share, leave comments, tell me ways that you encourage people this month, or you plan to this month, and just keep me posted on how y'all are doing so I can pray for you. Like I recently told someone, when you're ill, you have a lot of hours and a lot of minutes in every day that you just feel like you're just staring at a ceiling when you don't feel well. But to give me someone to pray for is fantastic, and I would love to do that for you. All right, friends, I do have one thing set out that I'll try to make a video this weekend and share of the ways God has taught me some things in this Bible, or during this season of illness. So, all right, friends, I love you, but as much as I love you, Jesus loves you so much more. I'll be talking to you soon. Bye, y'all.